Okay, so hey guys, and welcome back to another Sport This Week video. And in today's video, I've got baseball, tennis, ice hockey, NFL, basketball, Moto GP, UFC, boxing, cricket, F1, and yeah, I believe that's all the sports news. If you are new around here though, and you haven't hit subscribe, please do so. Like video if you do need like video, and let's get straight into it. So, starting off this week, I'm going to start off with the baseball news. So, Yankees won 2-0 versus Red Sox. Yankees lost 3-2 versus Blue Jays. Red Sox lost 14-8 versus Orioles. Yankees won 5-2 versus Blue Jays. Red Sox won 13-9 versus Orioles. Astros won 10-2 versus Diamondbacks. Dodgers lost 4-3 versus Padres. Yankees won 8-3 versus Blue Jays. Red Sox won 3-1 versus Orioles. Astros lost 5-2 versus Diamondbacks. Dodgers won 1-0 versus Padres. Red Sox won 5-3 versus Orioles. Dodgers won 5-2 versus Padres. Yankees lost 2-1 versus Orioles. Red Sox lost 9-0 versus Blue Jays. Astros lost 7-3 versus Rays. Dodgers won 10-1 versus Rockies. Yankees won 8-0 versus Orioles. Red Sox lost 10-0 versus Blue Jays. Astros won 2-1 versus Rays. Dodgers won 6-4 versus Rockies. Yankees are AL Eastern champions, and Cardinals are NL Central champions. Yankees lost 3-1 versus Orioles. Red Sox lost 6-3 versus Blue Jays, and Astros won 3-1 versus Rays, and Dodgers lost 4-1 versus Rockies. And yeah, that is all the baseball news. Moving on to the tennis news now, where it was the Palmer Open. Sakari lost 2-1 versus Baindl. It was also the Tallinn Open, where Kontaveit won 2-1 versus Wang Ti. Sakari won 2-1 versus Rus. Kontaveit and Rutlife lost 2-1 versus Siegmund and Melechar Martinez. Sakari won 2-1 versus Saneska. Kontaveit won 2-0 versus Mantikaku. It was also the Tel Aviv Open, where Djokovic won 2-0 versus Andujar. Djokovic won 2-0 versus Parpisil. Kontaveit won 2-1 versus Bonaventura. Sakari won 2-0 versus Kovinic. Kontaveit won 2-0 versus Kanepi. Sakari lost 2-0 versus Sheriff to win the women's singles Palmer Open. Djokovic won 2-0 versus Safilian. Kontaveit lost 2-0 versus Krejcikova to win the women's singles Tallinn Open. Kichenok won 2-1 versus Siegmund and Melechar Martinez to win the women's doubles Tallinn Open. And Djokovic won 2-0 versus Selecto to win the men's singles Tel Aviv Open. And yeah, that is all the tennis news. Moving on to the ice hockey news now. Canadians lost 2-1 versus Devils. Red Wings won 6-2 versus Penguins. Bruins won 3-2 versus Rangers. Maple Leafs won 3-0 versus Canadians. Red Wings lost 4-2 versus Blackhawks. Canadians won 4-3 versus Jets. Maple Leafs won 6-2 versus Senators. Red Wings lost 2-0 versus Capitals. Bruins won 4-0 versus Flyers. Canadians lost 5-4 versus Senators. Red Wings won 3-0 versus Blackhawks. Knight has signed a 3-year deal with Panthers. Sandin has signed a 2-year deal with Maple Leafs, and Allen has signed a 2-year deal with Canadians. And yeah, that is all the ice hockey news. As you can see, it is the start now of the pre-season. But speaking of start of the pre-season, we've also got the basketball news, where Warriors won 96-87 versus Wizards, and Warriors won 104-95 versus Wizards, as well as Celtics won 134-93 versus Hornets. And yeah, that is all the basketball news. Moving on to the NFL news now. Dolphins lost 27-15 versus Bengals. Slater expected to miss the rest of the season, and Packers won 27-24 versus Patriots. And yeah, that is all the NFL news. Moving on to the football news now. England drew 3-3 versus Germany. Italy won 2-0 versus Hungary. Obi Mikel has retired. Edwards has been sacked by Watford. Bilic is the new Watford manager. Brazil won 5-1 versus Tunisia. Serbia won 2-0 versus Norway. Spain won 1-0 versus Portugal. Argentina won 3-0 versus Jamaica. Chelsea won 3-1 versus West Ham. Kuol has joined Newcastle. Rashford won Player of the Month. Ten Hag is Manager of the Month. Tony won Goal of the Month. and Pickford won Save of the Month. Bayern won 4-0 versus Leverkusen. Bournemouth drew 0-0 versus Brentford. Chelsea won 2-1 versus Southampton. Arsenal won 3-1 versus Spurs. Cologne as won 3-2 versus Dortmund. Napoli won 3-1 versus Torino. Milan won 3-1 versus Empoli. Barcelona won 1-0 versus Mallorca. PSG won 2-1 versus Nice. Roma won 2-1 versus Inter. West Ham won 1-0 versus Wolves. Lage has been sacked by Wolves. Man City won 6-3 versus Man U. Leeds drew 0-0 versus Villa. Atalanta won 1-0 versus Fiorentina, and Lens won 1-0 versus Lyon. And yeah, that is all the football news. Moving on to the boxing news now, where Fundora will fight Ocampo on the 8th of October. Jonas versus De Care. Smith versus Benjamin. Clark versus Sokolowski. And Raya versus Denny. Denny, one of the fighters that we have had on the channel, will all fight on the 12th of November. So best of luck to Denny especially, but all the rest of the fighters as well. Hitchens has joined Matchroom. Bridges will fight O'Connell on the 10th of December. Hitchens versus Alamo. Ford versus Lucas. And Tapia versus Matisse will fight on the 12th of November. Neri won via KO in round 3 versus Carmona. Kato won via unanimous decision versus Sosa. And Shoj Green won via TKO in round 1 versus Pinchuk. And yeah, that is all the boxing news. Moving on to the cricket news now. Bangladesh won by 32 runs versus UAE. India won by 8 wickets versus South Africa. Pakistan won by 5 runs versus England. England won by 8 wickets versus Pakistan. England won by 67 runs versus Pakistan. India won by 16 runs versus South Africa. And yeah, that is all the cricket news. Moving on to UFC news now. Mitchell will fight Evloev on the 5th of November. And yeah, that is all the UFC news. Moving on to the F1 news now. Guan Yu will stay with Alfa Romeo in 2023. F1 Sprint to appear at 6 events from 2023 onwards. It was the Singapore Grand Prix where Leclerc was on pole, Perez started second and Hamilton started third, and in the end Perez won, Leclerc came second and Sainz came third, with Suanda, Ocon, Albon, Alonso, Latifi and Guan Yu not finishing. And yeah, so I mean, it just kind of asserts Red Bull's dominance even when Verstappen's not up there, it's Perez is up there, so it's just asserting their dominance really. But yeah, moving on to the final sport, which is the Moto GP news, where Kazakhstan and India are races for the 2023 calendar. Bezzecchi, I can't remember, I didn't write down what race it was. I couldn't remember what race it is, but there has been a race. Bezzecchi was on pole, Martin started second, and Bagnaia started third, with Oliveira winning, Miller coming second, and Bagnaia coming third. And yeah, that is it for today's video. Hope you did enjoy. Like the video if you didn't, like the video, subscribe if you're new, and thanks for watching.